This summer, US Space Force is set to launch satellites to track Chinese or Russian space vehicles that can potentially disable or damage orbiting objects. According to the Space Force and analysts dubbed Silent Barker, the network of satellites would be the first of its kind to complement ground-based sensors and low Earth orbit satellites. The satellites will be placed about 35,400 kilometers above the Earth and at the same speed it rotates, known as geosynchronous orbit. The Space Force is developing the satellites with the National Reconnaissance Office or NRO. The Space Force stated, and I quote, "This capability enables syndications and warnings of threats against high-value US systems and will provide capabilities to search, detect, and track objects from space for timely threat detection." The NRO further said that the Silent Barker satellite constellation is scheduled for launch after July on board an Atlas V booster operated by the Boeing co-Lockheed Martin Corp's United Launch Alliance. The launch date will be announced 30 days in advance on Facebook and Twitter, which is reported as quite a change for an agency that's been around for decades but whose existence wasn't declassified until the year 1992. Silent Barker is a response to efforts by China and Russia to develop systems capable of being launched into orbit and taking out other satellites, something that's growing concern to the US. In its annual threat assessment this year, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence said that China has weapons intended to target US and allied satellites. One example is China's SJ-21 satellite, which was launched in 2021 and later successfully pulled a defunct Chinese satellite several hundred miles into a higher orbit. According to a 2022 Defense Intelligence Agency report, another Chinese satellite, the Sijian-17, is equipped with a robotic arm that could be used for grappling other satellites. The Space Force and NRO wouldn't detail how many satellites would make up the Silent Barker constellation, except to say that there will be multiple space vehicles involved. The Space Force said that surveillance from space augments ground sensors and overcomes ground sensor limitations by providing timely 24-hour above-the-weather collection of satellite data. It said that ground-based sensors of objects in geosynchronous orbit are limited by distance, geography and weather, but Silent Barker will overcome observation gaps.